Mike, we're concerned with quality, not quantity. So, anyhow, Stephen.
Well, I said I was done with Woody Allen, but it's not the quantity of your sex life that's important, it's the quality. But if the quantity drops below 2 or 3 times a year, you ought to check into it. I made a living off of Woody Allen, the Nightclub Years album, which I bought in 1974, I believe. And I told all the jokes as if they were mine. I guess, you know. Okay. I'm doing some poems tonight. This is a pure poetry night. I have a couple of friends now who got me writing poetry again, which is really good. One of them is Rick, and so I don't need to read any of his stuff because you've already heard him. And the other one is my very wonderful friend, Rosamund Campbell. And I have some of hers to start with. Rosamund was born in India in 1919. Moved at a very young age to Australia, grew up in Australia, moved to England after that, married a Canadian gentleman, moved to Canada and lived there for 10 years, moved here to San Miguel in 1966, has been here for 47 years. And one of those people who made San Miguel what it is. And so she's very, very important to me. I have a couple of books of her poetry and I'm going to read some of her poems to start with, and then show what they inspired me to do, which they have no responsibility for. Okay. The 2 poems I'm going to do first have 2 of the greatest lines I've ever heard, and I'll point them out afterwards. Townsend Solitaire. Never do you see him, but the forest is full of his song, liquid, melodious, a small, unobtrusive bird, a hermit thrush, a solitaire, raining his song down through pines to the forest floor. All the time half conscious of his presence, I gather cones for the kitchen stove. Hot, pungent smells rise from trodden needles beneath my feet. Trumpet flowers, dusky orange and red, lift high their heads above a bracken bed of bronze ferns, burnished to silver. Yesterday I rescued a sparrow, tied by its leg to a thread, fluttering upside down, its tiny flame all but extinguished in the hot sun. Not significant looking, these birds, but in the eyes of God, having important niches in his universe. So the humblest peasant, going about his daily chores, is aware of heaven in the daily twittering of sparrows, or, if he is lucky, the songs of thrushes. I have seen him, singing his heart out, against the bars of cages, not as here, caroling joyously in filtered forest sunlight, free. This one I read to her this afternoon. She does like hearing her own poetry, and I don't think there's any ego about it. I just think it's a familiarity thing. She really likes it a lot. In the realm of the brown sea pelicans, blue sky, bluer sea, dark bird shapes, silhouetted on rocks, sentinels on duty, poised properly, necks elongated, beaks tucked into chins, flat-footed, keeping watch where their comrades, feathered galleons, float on the swell, the rise and fall of the salty tide, or aeronautic, streamlined squadrons fly in V formation, or strung out in lines, low overhead, white breasts, white underwings, making dark crosses against the sun, eyes aware, perceptive, searching sea signs for schools of fish, skimming waves, rapier-billed hunters that, with folded wings, plummet to spear fish in the depths below. Another Rosamund story. She was also a painter, and after her somebody told me this was after her husband passed away. She had a friend painter, and he was painting a painting of a woman, and she had blue eyes, and Rosamond told him, paint them brown, because she has beautiful blue eyes. She didn't want him painting any other blue eyes, and we've heard blue eyes already tonight. Crying in the rain. Thank God for Willie. Bless Texas for Willie.
Amen.
And Waylon Jennings.
And Waylon, yes, yes.
You look like Waylon.
Thank you, thank you. Hopefully I resemble that remark. Next time I'll play a Waylon. Okay. Muriel. To live in the shadow of the unicorn, to have its moist breath forever and constantly upon the frosted window pane, is more real than reality. To see the imprint of his hooves upon the ribbed leaves and see the break in the jeweled cobweb is more than reality. In the black pool, the wind disturbs with diamond ripples. The unicorn treads, distinct and sure-footed, with his horn, symbol of fertility, carried before him like a sword. The beauty of his being purifies my spirit, for there is a harshness in this world that is not my climate. There is solace only in the white form, the unicorn, my heart's desire. Nor is it in his power to harm me, image of my own creation. So let him die with me and be buried in the same plot of ground. And I will not grieve for the wind-ruffled pool. We shall be happy there, within the earth's comfort, hearing the talk of wind upon grass, the conversation of tide on smooth pebbles.
Woo!
That's a beauty.
Give us that special line again.
There's a harshness in this world that is not my climate.
Yes. Amen.
That's one of the most wonderful lines I've ever heard.
Amen to that.
I'm going to do two of mine. These two have already heard them, so. When I see the world tuned in, the panic button overwhelmed, the dramatic tedium, it's a mind cave-in, it's a flood, it's a terrorist. Blame it on OJ. Sell the white Bronco. See if that helps. White girl had some jungle fever, and the jungle bit back. Everything else is the same, except you are there. Is there jungle in Arabia? Where the fuck is Chechnya? Do they have jungle there? Blame it on OJ. We sold the white Bronco. It didn't seem to help. Some white girl had jungle fever, and the jungle bit back.
Oh. Had heard
Rick
that.
made me do it.
Had heard that one.
I move slow so I don't fall. That's one of those good things these days. Falling is very harmful. The pink parasol. The top of a head with tumbling blonde hair, and 2 feet, slightly restless, poking out the other side. The pink parasol opened, laying a tilt on the ground. A shelter that almost reached. A million thanks to almost. The boys in the line, counting their money. Enough for a donut? Maybe 2. And I'll buy one for you. As a girl walked by, pretending not to notice, the boys all giggled. Estás la novia de Pablo. And the girl almost smiled. She walked behind a tree and peeked out the other side. A full, sweet smile grew on her face as she slipped back behind the tree. She came out the other side and walked to the parasol. The head and the feet disappeared. A little girl sat up to greet her sister. Identical twins, 4 years apart. Same hair, same shoes. Estás la novia de Pablo. The boy could not contain his joy. Es la verdad, he told me. She's in my class. The little sister giggled. The big sister gave us Mona Lisa. Big sister walked away with an ever so slightly backward glance. The little sister disappeared behind the pink parasol, and the top of a head with tumbling blonde hair and 2 feet, slightly restless, poked out the other side.
Woo!